Well, good afternoon, folks. How are we all doing? I finally had a couple minutes to get in touch with you guys and go over this whole deal about the 2020 Case IH Magnum tractors. They are called now the AFS Connect Magnum tractors. Still looking to run the same model numbers from what I can tell, horsepower ratings and that. Otherwise, the only major changes is in the cab interior and the entry door to the cab being on the whole side versus they used like 2/3 of it before, so you had a goofy little post right there, so that whole side opens up as a door, giving you better entry. And inside the cab they made some changes, mainly, and looked like they spruced up the carpeting layout and the interior color a little bit. Otherwise, if you get a chance, look at the Case IH site and you can see the new AFS Connect Magnums. It's not in the actual product line yet, but it will roll on their page under the new stuff, under the newsreel kind of stuff, and you just click on that and it'll bring you up an actual brochure and show you all the improvements and changes they made to it. The screens are going to be nice in them. They're now color in the corner. Of course, my deer guys are going to say, "Oh, you copied us." Well, yeah, they probably did in that respect, but their colors are probably better from what I've seen in deers. They're just a grayscale type with a black screen. But then they also give us the new AFS 1200 Pro Vector program now, and it is actually an Android-based system. Android. So it is like our phones on the screen. It'll have some of the icons, and the layout is similar to an Android or a Google type phone. So that's pretty nice. Most farmers will probably not like it, but some will. It's older guys tend to not be into the whole touch screen thing. So it looks like it's going to be a lot nicer, smarter, and the new headlight design, of course, on the front was what I missed there a few minutes ago when I was started, but the headlight design, I think, is more for LED lights, and because they're adding cameras for views and stuff out of the front, so because those tractors with the axles being set back on them with the radiator in front of the axle, so your weight stick out, you really cannot see. If you're nosing it up in a shed, you cannot see what you're going to hit because you got 2-3 feet of front sticking out there that you don't know. So the camera will help in that respect. And plus, too, with the camera options, they're giving you, I think, like 4, 8, or 12 views, 4 to 8, 12 different types of cameras. So you should be able to show cameras looking every freaking direction you want to look, which I could utilize that for like anhydrous applications and stuff, to stick stuff further out towards the booms to see if I got plugged lines and whatnot, and it looks like a good win-win for the farmer, but nobody's got any money for it, so we'll see how much they actually sell them. We got a year to figure it out, and it's really worth looking at. And to our friends on the New Holland side, theirs actually came out too, but the New Holland tractor, being it's selling the same production line, does not get a facelift like the Case will, essentially, so it'll still stick to the same look. But you should be able to figure it's going to be a new PLM Intelligence is what they're calling it. So PLM Intelligence is going to be their version of it, and actually it's the same screens, just in a different configuration within the cab, and the cab interior is going to be probably a little different color coded and maybe a little cheaper. I don't know, So on the New Hollands and the T8s with this new PLM deal, your gauges that were in the right corner, like we had before in the red and the blue ones, are now going to be right in front of you on the steering column. So that screen will be in front of you on the steering column. Otherwise, your PLM screen, what I call AFS, is mounted to the right on the operator's console like it always was before. And it'll be the same screen Otherwise, New Holland's probably going to have different control handles for driving, shifting, pre-programmed options and all that. Whereas the Case, if you look at the Case and the Magnum in the pictures, you will see the console, the actual handle that you rest your hand on or operate the tractor from, I think is still the speed control for the most part. And it's going to have probably 8 different functions on it. So you'll be able to program your functions per se 1 through 8, whatever you want. Whereas before you only had basically 1 function on the old handle, which is a good idea. 8 functions would take a little bit to get used to what button to hit and when to hit it. But outside of that, I think it'll be a good deal because I always had, that was my biggest complaint, was I never had enough functions. So overall, the tractor creature wise is still going to look and feel the same, and it's going to be a good thing. It was needed because Case IH has been rolling with that particular cab since probably 1999 to 2000. So to make some major interior changes was overdue because the interior hadn't really changed all that much except for some of the control functions in that, and they got rid of the whole, if anybody runs an MX or a current Magnum series, they would know that right back corner has your HVAC controls, power mirror controls, some basic safety lockout features, and they did away with all that. So all that will be integrated into your little console now. And I think radio controls, Bluetooth connectivity, all that is also integrated all into that right-hand console now. So you'll have a series of small buttons. It's going to be like the buttons on the steering wheel of a Chevy truck, but they're all putting them on that, and it looks like there will be some knobs to turn and little buttons. So you'll have more of like a mouse deal too to control on the screen, but I gather too you'll be able to do a lot of the controlling through the screen itself too, or these buttons. So overall, it's going to be a learning curve for a lot of us, but I can handle it. I just wish I could put together a better slideshow, but my computer program's been giving me a lot of issues with it lately, and at some point I'll get that all worked out bugs wise. So make sure you guys all look at it and let me know what you think. I'm still trying to build this channel, and shout out to anybody that wants to connect with me. I'm always open for suggestions. I don't always get on here and do this when I should, so I'm just trying to find ways to make it work and slowly build it. I'm in no big hurry to get thousands of people on it and turn a blind eye to you because I don't like your comments like a certain young gentleman from Texas does. And then he panders to a certain guy that farms out east, and those two kind of pander to each other, and that makes me I'm a little disgusted with it because you shouldn't sit there and ignore and then pander to a guy that you really like when you say you're not going to comment on anybody else's stuff. So why are you commenting on everybody else's stuff? Maybe it's just me, but I'm always going to try to read comments and post comments on others' pages when I can. I may not look at every video you do, but I usually try to pick out 1 or 2 every day that, okay, I'm going to check out this guy's video, so I'll leave you a comment. Because otherwise I'm going to be sitting here for hours on end doing this, and I just don't have the time to do it. But at some point I'm going to try to do actual live streams farming. Nobody else seems to do any of that. It's always recorded, so if I can do live stream farming activities, you're going to see it in the real time. So what happens, happens. So if something breaks, it breaks. So I might shut the camera off if it breaks because colorful metaphors will fly normally. And I'm not one that's going to tell you this is how I tear things apart. This is what you should do because there's enough other guys telling you how to do things. I think some of these guys on here do a real nice job with their farming channels, but some of them it's just constant. And after a while, some of this farm stuff, it's year after year, it's the same thing. So people would tend to get tired of it, I think. I know I do. And some of it's just, it is what it is. I mean, I don't see enough of guys like, the one River Barge Captain. I love his videos because he, it's pretty monotonous too, but he's always got that little bit of chance and there's something's going to happen because he's pedaling down the Mississippi River. So that's, that's the way I look at it there, but I tend to rag on sometimes about things. I will never be political or shove political views on people. I don't believe in that. It's not what I'm here. You either like me or you don't. It's the way it is. And kind of been a sad day for us because a well-known two-wheel drive truck puller that I watched and chatted with a little bit in the season where we pulled together at events. He was on his way to the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville and was in that very bad accident on I-65 southbound near Seymour and was pretty much struck and killed. And so we're kind of reeling from that a little bit. We'll get through it. It's just traveling these roads. You got to keep that in the back of your head. Next one could be me. Next one could be you. It is what it is. So I have to deal with it and move on. Sad to see it happen, but on the other hand, it's just shows that you can't just do anything or go anywhere without something possibly happen. So anybody else hears about it, let me know what they think. And got any comments, questions? Let me know. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll try to do something else a little more in depth on some other farm equipment things that are coming. I've just been reading a little bit about Kubota's upgrades to the M7 series. So once I get a little more boned up on that, I'll try to run that down and tell you guys what I see it as or what it looks like to me that they've changed over the current M7s. And maybe we'll dive into some skid loader discussions and whatnot, about what I think skid loaders should be doing or how they're set up. Or I run a lot of Kubota and Case IH equipment or international trucks, so I have a pretty good stance and equipment otherwise, but I've run a lot of others. I just don't stick with what I know because that's what I like. So like I said, thanks for watching. Not my intentions for anybody to see it as a live stream. I just had time to record it this way, so it's easier. So that way I'm not having to wait for it to load up and do all the editing and that. I'm just going to do it live in the raw when I can, when I feel like it. And my allergies are starting to kick in. It's currently 45 degrees here in northern Illinois. We finally get a day of thawing, so I'm going to have to go out and take a walk and enjoy it here for a little bit. So, and anything else, we'll see you guys on down the road. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all later. Bye.